and welcome to this week's edition of Wednesday Wisdom. My name is JB Hilliard, and these are weekly video snippets of information designed to provide answers to questions about estate planning or probate court process or any other questions you may have, and either legal or otherwise. And in this case, I'm going to the otherwise side, and I want to share with you the IRS agency's Dirty Dozen. In case you didn't know, the IRS puts out a list every year of the Dirty Dozen top scamming situations, if you will. And so for 2020, I just wanted to share with you what those are. And since there are 12 of them, and I tend to talk a little bit more in certain areas, I'm going to kind of split this up. So we'll do 6 this week and the rest next week. How's that? So these aren't in any particular order, just in the order that they're on the site, on the IRS's website. But I first want to talk about phishing. Phishing, Phishing. Yeah, I want to make sure I spell that right. In my head, I go too fast. But phishing is where someone is trying to get your personal information by way of a fake email or fake website. A lot of times you may, and I get these on a daily basis. I get at least 50 bogus emails a day. It's ridiculous. They're out there phishing for your personal information. So you want to be careful. And a quick way to know that this isn't from the IRS, first of all, the IRS isn't going to initiate contact with you via an email message. That's not how they start off their process. They're going to send you a hard copy letter in the mail, and you may get 3 or 4 or 5 copies of this letter, but they're going to send you mail first via US mail before they do any other contact if they're initiating contact. After that, they may assign a person specifically to your case or to your matter, and then you're talking back and forth with that individual via phone or email. But the IRS doesn't initiate contact that way. So that's the first clue. The second clue is when you open up an email, you want to check the email address from the sender. Sometimes in your inbox, it looks like it's from our joe@irs.gov, but then when you open up the message, it's joe at, and then just a bunch of letters combined in to make an email address that has nothing to do with the IRS or whoever they're portraying to be. So check that out. And by all means, if it's anything that doesn't look familiar, you're not expecting, is out of the blue, do not click on any links or anything else within the message, or if it's directing you to a website, don't click on the link. Type the web address yourself manually in your internet browser window if you're really wanting to look and see what that's about. But that's phishing. I can go into a whole another segment just on that. But you want to just be careful about that. And another giveaway, my third giveaway for that is usually in the body of the message, it's typically fraught with grammatical and punctuation errors, at least the ones I get. So that again tells me this is not a professional organization that's sending me this message. The second of the Dirty Dozen is fake charities. And unfortunately, in times like these, when there's a natural, or not, sorry, well, yeah, a natural disaster, a national problem, or in this case, an international pandemic, then the scammers, the criminals come out of the woodwork. And so you'll find that a lot of times they are seeking either your personal information or just plain out money from you, and they're portraying to be associated with or even portraying to be the other more well-known, nationally known and internationally known charitable organizations, the real ones. Maybe they're trying to make it look like they're from Red Cross. They may direct you to a website where they have, the Red Cross logo and the color scheme and everything else. And so, on the surface, it looks like, yeah, this looks like they're associated with Red Cross when they're really not. So just be aware that the criminals come out in times like these, and unfortunately, a lot of people fall victim to that. The third of the Dirty Dozen, threatening impersonator phone calls. You know those robo calls, and it is like it sounds. It sounds like a robot is calling you. Please call this number immediately. This is an urgent matter. Okay, so now I'm taking off my lawyer hat, and this is just JB, just talking to you, just talking to you. I personally find great joy in ignoring those phone calls. If you can't tell me who you are, why you're calling, you're just saying it's an urgent matter, but you're not telling me where you're calling from, or what agency you're representing, then you're not getting a call back. It's not really urgent. Okay, let me put my lawyer hat back on. So be aware of those, especially if they're automatically generated, computer generated calls. You can do a quick check to see the phone number. We all have caller ID now, so you can check and see where this phone number is coming from, or just see if they call back. If you're not expecting a call from, if they give you an agency name, if you call the agency the overall number, or there are a lot of things you can do there, as well as just ignore the call, because typically they're just, again, trying to fish for information from you to see if you bite. Another scam on the Dirty Dozen list here is social media scams. And what people do with social media is they kind of lurk, they kind of stalk, and gather information about you, either your contact information or, more importantly, your list of friends. And then later on, they impersonate or try to impersonate your friend by sending you an email saying, "This is Jane, and I'm stranded on this trip that I took, and I need money to get home." We've seen those, or at least heard of those, a lot of times, but they try to play as though they are somebody that you know. So, at first thought, it's like, oh my God, this person is emailing me and I haven't talked to them, but we're friends on Facebook or whatever the social media platform is, and they need help. Oh, let me reach out and help them. So be careful about that. When in doubt, contact the friend directly saying, "Did you just email me? And are you in Turks and Caicos, like stranded, or what's going on?" And they're like, "No, I'm still in Ohio." Ohio's my home state. I got love for you, Ohio. You know I do. Um, but yeah, just be careful about that. And I always try to tell my loved ones, don't put all of your business on social media. If you're going out of town, I know we all like to celebrate when we can take a vacation or take some time to ourselves, but tell us about it after you come back. Take the pictures, hold on to them, and tell us after you get back. Everybody doesn't need to know that you're out of town, or every step of your whatever you're doing. And with personal information, yeah, it allows us to share our contact information, emails and phone numbers and things like that. But just be careful about that and check your privacy settings. Okay, that's enough on that. And the next one is economic impact payment or refund theft. So again, with what's going on now with these stimulus payments that we've got, some people have gotten already, some people are still waiting to get, and then there are talks of more coming down the pike. A lot of scammers and these criminals then try to intercept those payments. So you just want to be protective of, again, your personal information you're giving out, your uh, ATM access numbers, your pins, any other access codes or passwords out there that you have for the different accounts and everything. Just make sure you're keeping that under your protective eye. And when in doubt, also check your credit report to see if you think, or something doesn't look quite right, and you think maybe your identity's been stolen or something has been hacked. Then go ahead and pull your credit report and see, check that on a regular basis, at least once annually, but if more often than that, if you really feel like something is going on. And then lastly that I want to talk about today is just under the category of senior fraud. And again, all of these can apply to just seniors or really everybody, but particularly our seniors are a more vulnerable group of people that these scammers tend to target. And so you want to make sure if you have someone in your family or in your circle that's of a certain age, and as I get older, senior gets closer and closer to me, but you want to just make sure that if they're talking to somebody on the phone or corresponding via email, that that other side, the person or people on that other side know that there's someone that has a second eye or second set of eyes on what's going on. Scammers are less likely to target someone when they know that there's someone else there, particularly with these phone calls that come in. I know some seniors, if they don't have anybody around them on a regular basis, they like to have somebody on the phone to talk to. But you don't want to talk to the point where you're giving up a lot of personal information. And sometimes we do that just unconsciously. So make sure you're reaching out to someone who maybe lives alone, maybe is still, very competent at doing and being independent and doing things, but you want to just make sure you reach out to that person to let them know, if they get something that doesn't sound quite right or doesn't look quite right, that, you can be that second set of eyes for them. So let's just stop that there because I'm sure I've gone well over my time this week, and we'll continue this Dirty Dozen list next time. Until then, as always, thanks for watching.